Holy moly, it's dirty in here.
HiroshimaSpirit!
This time around, I'm hoping to put old Greeny's rough idle issues to bed once and for all. In a previous video, I showed you guys how to clean your mass airflow sensor, and that worked for a little while, but ultimately ended up being a band-aid fix. Now this car's idle is as rough as it's ever been, and I've even got a check engine light displaying in the cluster. When I ran the code, it actually called out an issue with idle air control, and despite having an electric throttle, this car does have an idle air control valve. It's nestled down in there somewhere. You'll see it once I take all the plastic off. I've got my trusty CRC MAF Sensor cleaner, and I'm going full ham today. We're going to take the throttle body off and clean it, we're going to clean the mass airflow sensor again, and I'm going to take off the idle air control valve, give that a clean, and fix it, because it's a $135 part that I would prefer not to replace. And once all that is done, I'm hoping old Greeny will be idling as smooth as the day she rolled off the boat. But there's only one way to find out, so let's dig in. This is also going to give me an opportunity to use my new cordless tools. Thanks, Dad. First thing, we're going to disconnect the car from power since I'm going to be pulling the ECU. I know this is overkill, but who cares? Now we can remove the intake, something I've done several times on this channel before, but I'll refresh your memory. Flathead, just pop this guy off. Bye. And these two Phillips head guys, which undo this cover for the ECU plugs. Didn't drop anything this time, it's a grand slam. Now for our ECU plugs. Come on, I can do it one-handed, I know it. Maybe not. There we go. Next, for the remainder of the engine cover and ECU box, 3 10mm bolts. Here, and there's one in the back, but apparently I have misplaced mine, so it's only going to be these two for me. That's so nice. Yeah, and you've got to remove the intake elbow, or none of this stuff can be removed or accessed. Duh. What I need next is a ratcheting screwdriver. Yeah. Next, unplug the MAF sensor. Easy breezy. Unclip the various vacuum hoses that are just plastic clipped to the bottom and sides of the intake. There's one little wiring harness clip down there that's guaranteed to be annoying. Look at how dirty it is in here. And we're free! Try not to lose your hardware. Now with the whole intake removed, you can plainly see our idle air control valve here. Just gonna do a little housekeeping, unplug the throttle body so that I can move some of this stuff out of the way and make the work a little easier. But we're gonna start with the MAF sensor since that guy needs time to dry out. We've been here before, the video will be right here in the corner, but I'll give you a quick refresher. Down here in this hole are the hot wires. You can kind of make them out there. You just want to do 10 to 15 quick spritzes down in there with the cleaner. You can spray this guy down too, and then set the sensor out to dry. Next, I'm going to tackle the idle air control valve, which is held to the side of the intake manifold with two 10mm bolts. It's interesting. There's like a little twisty gear kind of setup in the inside of the intake manifold that turns a little gear on this guy, or maybe it's the other way around. You can get a better look at it there. So I don't know how I'm gonna clean it. I'm gonna probably just spray some of my MAF sensor cleaner in that hole and hope for the best. I also sprayed some MAF sensor cleaner down on that little gear guy. I don't know what it'll do, but MAF sensor cleaner is pretty much safe for anything, so couldn't hurt. Now for the throttle body, which is held on by, you guessed it, 4 10mm bolts. There are a couple of coolant lines that actually run through the throttle body itself for emissions BS or whatever, and I'm hoping that I can get away with just loosening it, moving it away, spraying the back and front, and not having to worry about those coolant lines, but we'll find out. Perfect. I have nice clean access, didn't have to mess with those coolant lines. As you can see in there, it's kind of dirty. I'll give it a nice scrub down and a spray with the cleaner. I've got to clean just inside the intake manifold there, but this is going really good so far. Now, the inside of the throttle body is clean, the outside of the throttle body is clean. I sprayed it down, I wiped it by hand, all that gunk in there is now gone. If you wanted to take it a little further, you could probably take an old toothbrush, get in there and scrub real good. It's a lot cleaner than when I started, so I'm gonna call it good. You can take that as far as you want. Sensors should be dry by now, so all that's left is to put it all back together. That, of course, being the reverse of what we've just done. Prime piece of advice, there's probably a torque spec for the bolts on the throttle body. Maybe look that up. I don't know what it is, and now I'm paying for it. So, try not to do that. Hopefully, I can thread that in and it'll hold. We'll find out. If not, I'm gonna have to replace this bolt, and maybe drive the car with it running like crap. Who knows? I'm gonna try and find that torque spec, and I'll either include it in the editing of this video, there will be some text down at the bottom, or I'll at least put it in the description if I can find it. Be careful. Don't do this. If this proves anything, it's that I'm actually just some jerk with a camera who does this for fun, not your personal mechanic. I try to help, but I don't know everything. And I screw up. Okay. Everything's back together loosely, there's still some bits to put back. Throttle body, of course, is short, one bolt. I'm hoping that I won't have a vacuum leak and I can just replace it no problem. I mean, ask any engineer. Any plane only needs 3 points to exist, so hey, whatever. Hopefully it'll work. Let's see if she starts and runs. Running, but only just. Let it normalize and we'll see. This is flammable, so spraying the cleaner doesn't change how the engine's running, so I don't even see a spraying mist or anything. It's starting to idle down after warming up, and check engine light's gone, but of course that's probably from being reset. I'll have to see if it comes back. Let me finish tightening everything back up and I'll take it for a spin, see how it feels. But so far, I think I've gotten away without a vacuum leak. Thank goodness. Let's take her for a real spin and see what we got. Don't want to hit the money maker over there. Boy, this car needs new wipers too. I think I've gotten away without a vacuum leak. For a while, the problem was just when it was in gear, drive, reverse, or anything like that. But recently it had evolved to where it just was having trouble idling anywhere. It even stalled a couple of times on us, and that's no bueno. But I'm feeling pretty good about this. I got the results I wanted. The idle isn't rough anymore, the check engine light's gone, so I'm happy. So there you have it, folks. If you're a fellow Mazda 2 owner, particularly an automatic Mazda 2 owner who's having trouble with a fluctuating or rough idle, those were a couple more steps you can take beyond a simple MAF sensor cleaning to help combat that problem. Clean your throttle body inside and out, clean your MAF sensor again just to be sure, and clean your idle air control valve, and you can come away with a good result like I did today. And you only need one product. The MAF sensor cleaner of your choice. It doesn't have to be CRC, I prefer their stuff, but it's safe to work on all those things, and it evaporates quickly, it works great, gets the job done, and all the hardware was 10 millimeters. It's great. It couldn't be any simpler than that. Before I go, I've been away for a while, just a quick few notes. Thank you all for helping me hit 500,000 views. That's super cool, just past 3,200 subscribers. Also really cool. Hi to all the new people out there. I wanted to send a big shout out and congratulations to all my friends at Mazda Team Yoast for finally getting that breakout IMSA victory at the 6 Hours of Watkins Glen last weekend. I'm looking forward to cheering them on to more victories in the future, hopefully another one tomorrow in Canada. And I also wanted to say Happy 4th of July to all of my fellow American viewers. Anyway, I hope that you all have enjoyed this one, and I hope that it helps you guys out, because I know this is a problem, particularly with the automatic folks. I hear about this all the time. I can always turn them to my MAF sensor cleaning video, but that doesn't always do the trick, and I'm a perfect example of that. It fixes it for a while, but not permanently, and I'm hoping that this one sticks. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching and subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, this definitely worked. The longer I drive it, the better it gets.